12,000 years ago the Taiwan Strait used to be a land bridge, which was how people were able to migrate to the island. Then the sea level rose and a lot of years passed by before some Portuguese sailors passed by the island in 1544 and named it Isle de Formosa. In 1624 the Dutch East Company established a colony on the southern tip of Formosa to act as a trading post to trade with the Ming Empire and Japanese. The Spanish also colonized the northern tip of the island 2 years later to protect trade with the Philippines from the Dutch. The Dutch found the Spanish annoying, so they exchanged some friendly letters before the Dutch captured all the Spanish fortresses in 1642 on their second try. After that was out of the way, the Dutch, being Europeans, attempted to assimilate the inhabitants of the island. The native population didn't really appreciate that, so they tried a couple of rebellions, only to be quelled by the Dutch. The VOC governed Formosa as a colony, setting up tax and schooling systems. People were taught Romanized scripts and how to love Jesus. Fast forward to 1661, and Qing is sad after failing to capture Nanjing for his Ming loyalists. So he decided to attack Formosa to make himself feel better. After 9 months of battling, the colonial officials over at Fort Zeelandia threw in the towel and signed a treaty handing Formosa over to Qing. Now with control over Taiwan, I'm calling it Taiwan from now on because I don't like calling it Formosa. Qing wasted no time transforming the island into a base to train his army of anti-Manchus. The new name for this base was the Kingdom of Tungning. He really didn't enjoy how they conquered the Ming dynasty and established the Qing dynasty, so he was really determined to overthrow the Qing and bring his own people back to power. Then a mosquito bit him and he died. His son, Zhengjing, ruled Taiwan for the next 19 years. After failing to protect the islands of pescadores and a bunch of others, he decided that this kind of life wasn't fit for him and went back to his home to drink wine until he died. Now a kid was in charge of the island, so it wasn't long before the Qing dynasty conquered Taiwan in 1683. A lot of stuff happens, and we are in 1894 now. Japan looked at Korea and saw that it was nice. So they decided to go to war with China to capture it. Since China didn't update their forces to the latest version, Japanese victory was declared the following year with their beefy army. The Treaty of Shimonoseki was signed to end the war, and as a result Korea gained independence from China. China also lost a lot of clout as well as Taiwan, which the Japanese annexed. That's the first Sino-Japanese war for you. Hey look, it's 1941 now, and the Republic of China replaced the Qing dynasty and Japan is angry at the United States for issuing a trade embargo on oil. So the Japanese did the most sensible thing to do, declare war on the US by bombing Pearl Harbor. The States wasn't just gonna let the Japs one-up them like that, so they bombed them back in 1945. Twice. And the bombs were radioactive. Within days the Japanese surrendered and gave back all the land they stole including Taiwan, which merged with the Republic of China. The surrender of the Japanese officially concluded World War II, but things are getting heated in the ROC. Back in the mainland there were uprisings against the ROC's Kuomintang party which led to the birth of the Communist Party of China. During the Shanghai massacre of 1927 thousands of communists were killed, and they fought back in retaliation. This sparked the Chinese Civil War. In 1949 the communists finally dethroned the ROC nationalists who then fled from Nanjing to Taiwan, naming Taipei as their new capital. The People's Republic of China, under the Communist Party, established their capital in Beijing. The Civil War unofficially came to an end, and the PRC and ROC went on to govern their countries. In 1971 Taiwan's UN seat got cucked by the PRC, since they hold the official title of China. The US and the Soviet bloc were the sponsors for the ROC and PRC respectively, but the states divorced Taiwan in 1979. Hoping to leverage this opportunity to unify Taiwan, the PRC proposed the Three Links policy to improve communication, transportation, commerce, and communication. Taiwan subsequently rejected them with the three no's: no contact, no compromise, no negotiation. Ouch. The two governments eventually came to a consensus in 1992 that there is only one China, which is the legit government of that China. Both Taiwan and the PRC said simultaneously. Things didn't get much better when the Democratic Progressive Party was elected into government in 2000. The TPP kind of spits on the idea of one China policy of the 1992 consensus and Chinese unification. Instead, they believe that the people of Taiwan are their own Taiwanese identity, and that Taiwan is much better off independent from China. However, other countries fail to view Taiwan as its own country, since it is not official. But technically speaking, they are. They have their own government with their own president, who has jurisdiction over the entire island, their own military, and even participate in sporting events like the Olympics. There is a lot of support for Taiwan's independence, but the only thing stopping that from happening is China's pettiness. The PRC is strongly against the Taiwan independence movement, and have constantly restated its desire for a peaceful national reunification. Peaceful. Furthermore, the PRC is Taiwan's largest trading partner, which the mainland can use to twist Taiwan's arm into unification. Rewind back to 1989, where the Tiananmen Square protest